As Lagos turns 50, this episode of Destination Lagos celebrates with Africa's 5th largest economy. I'm Onyi Sunday. You're watching Destination Lagos. Eko, the original name given to Africa's 5th largest economy. Lagos, a name given by Portuguese explorer Rui de Sequeira, who visited the island in 1472. Lagos, which means lakes, was a major center of the slave trade until 1851. 166 years later, Lagos has moved on from its dark past and is currently Nigeria's biggest economy, Africa's 5th largest economy, and Nigeria's melting pot of tribes, arts, and culture. May the 27th, 2017 marked 50 years of its creation following Nigeria's restructuring into a federation of 12 states in 1967. For a state known for its glitz and glamour, it's no surprise that celebrations kicked off with a lineup of events from the state's entertainment industry.
Government came out from the first day to support the creative industry, the art industry. And in supporting that, how best to showcase that than to say, look, we want to celebrate 50 years of Lagos State. And we are going to start, not with what you have said, but with a performance, a world-class performance, which had already been taken to the West End in London and had done incredibly well.
If you look around the world, what you find out is that the arts typically is a driver of economic growth. And I think that we're beginning to recognize that, number one, because we have a lot of youths. Second, because we're naturally very creative and talented.
We want to place Lagos on the world map as the best place for tourists to visit in Africa.
Driving into Lagos by road, you will come across the 3 white chiefs. According to renowned sculptor Biodun Sodende, who erected the over 12 feet high statues in 1991, the pose you see is known as Owoawo, greetings in deity. In the year Lagos turned 50, the statues came alive. Well, sort of. This left many surprised and in disbelief. No doubt, palpable excitement greeted this visit by the popular traditional chiefs who stood frozen in time a few hours earlier.
It is 50. It's a milestone for a state that is number 1 among 36. We should celebrate it with some resonance.
Let the celebrations begin. And so it began, 50 days of celebration, starting with a performance of Waka the Musical, an educative and family-oriented musical extravaganza of drama, comedy, live music, and dance. The successes recorded in Lagos State have been attributed to the political stability the state enjoys. A contrary political climate could spell doom for the state and Nigeria. On this day, Waka the Musical portrayed the importance of choosing the right leader without resorting to violence, setting an agenda for the emergence of young leaders in governance.
You know, it really bothers me why a nation as great as ours is still entrenched in this web called corruption.
Mother Teresa!
Oh, watch it, Rex.
Listen, my plans are already laid out, yeah? Superstar, dancer, London's West End. Listen, because when I become rich and famous, all these faces will know who I am, because I'll be a superstar. Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
The misguided youth in conflict with the need to make a change. Popularity over ideology, the bane of politics.
One said, a country elects the leaders it deserves. So true, so true. But I am afraid I can't say too much more. Otherwise, my opposition, these individuals right here, these three, especially this one, will accuse me of using my master's and doctorate degrees from Harvard and Yale to dazzle you fine people. It is true, my good friends, I am more than qualified. More than qualified.
Allow me to bring to the podium the political bulldozer, Chief Otumba Sage! Ẹ̀yin ọmọ gidi, ẹ̀yin ọmọ gidi, mo gbọ́ information, lórí rédíò, lórí tẹ́lì, bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ lọ dìbò, ta ló ń lọ dìbò? Ó bọ̀bọ̀, we no bad day, to get this money today, call every night and day. Ó bọ̀bọ̀, we no bad day, ìṣirò tọ́lí mi ò ní kọ̀kẹ́rẹ́ lọ́la yé.
The people, they say, get the leaders they deserve.
Magic worker is there.
Your Excellency.
We miss you around here. Come, sit down now.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Sit
I
down.
missed being around here too.
Look at you. Tosan. Oh, this Oyinbo weather is good on your skin.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
In fact, sir, it is a good thing to travel out.
Wait,
I tell you, that place fills one with great ideas. Adoko, speaking about ideas, I have ideas. I'm talking about ideas that will make this state self-sufficient. Ideas that will help eradicate the teeming level of unemployment.
Yes.
Now, there's this policy I want us to... Sir?
Tosan.
Sir.
Try and relax. You have just come back now. Try and catch your breath first. Before you started all this, your idea. See, even the one that you proposed before you left, we have not done it.
My uncle means well for the state, but there's just no money.
No money. Tosan, if you truly believe that, you are either stupid or as corrupt as I feared.
Ngozi, that's
Kike, please. It's not your place.
It's all right. See, I am willing to forgive this if you can provide proof to support your allegations.
You want proof?
Yes.
Is this enough proof for you, Tosan?
The awakening, a revolution in waiting.
We made promises to the people.
Oh, election promises are not real promises like that. Forget this thing. Come and sit down, let us...
I'm sorry, sir, but you are fantastically corrupt.
The emergence of a political paradigm shift occurs.
That the people have made their choice. It's a lie. It's a lie. This is rigging. This is rigging. And you help them. You help them, yes. What is that? What?
Let us be civil about this.
What?
We are gentlemen,
Excuse me. What? He was there. How? He was there. What? He was there. From? He was there. You too? He was there. It's all right. He was there. Okay.
He was there.
Young man.
Prof. Prof.
Yeah.
I think, Prof, that you should have an ideology. I mean, something that you really believe in. And next time, when you speak to the good people, speak in the language they will understand.
Amidst the music and comedy, a lesson learned.
A lot has happened here today, but once again, we have proven that together we can build a great nation. I mean, look at us. Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided and apart. We will take our stand and build our land with faith to defend what we have.
For a state known as Nigeria's economic hub, you would expect celebrations to kick off with discussions and conferences about the state's economic blueprint. According to some residents in Lagos State, what's a prosperous economy without soul?
Every major city must have a soul, and an artistic soul really makes a city vibrant and alive. And for us, Lagos is vibrant and alive. So what we're just trying to do is to showcase Lagos. Yes, the hustle and bustle, but the fact that Lagosians know how to party, know how to enjoy themselves, know how to relax, and that's very critical.
I've been blown away by the arts and culture in Lagos since I got here about 6 weeks ago. So I think it's a wonderful way to demonstrate to the whole world that Lagos is a modern city, an incredibly vibrant city, a city of the 21st century, and that it's been 50 years, but there's so much more to go and to look forward to as well.
But what does Lagos State, Nigeria's economic capital, mean to its residents?
Vibrant.
Potential.
Artistic.
Exciting.
Traffic.
I was going to say traffic, but I don't know what else.
It's an incredible city. Like they say, if you can make it in Lagos, you can make it anywhere. I worked as an engineer for 10 years and changed my career after how many years in my life, and here I am. If I were somewhere else, I would have to, it would take quite a number of years to get, but in Lagos, anything is possible, literally. And that's Lagos to me, land of possibilities.
There are those who describe Lagos at 50 as a celebration of a legacy. For many who weren't there from inception, what does Lagos at 50 really mean?
Time for us to reflect on where we are coming from and also project for the future. It's about us celebrating our achievements in the last 50 years and, of course, telling the world about the potentials that it is inherent in Lagos State. This is what this is all about.
When you look at the country in general, you find out that Lagos is the only viable state. And going beyond 50, I can assure you, if the present structure remains the same, Lagos will still remain the only viable state.
Well, it means a celebration of an iconic state, a celebration of culture, a huge economy, and progress.
50 years gone, more hurdles to cross and more achievements to bag. Remember when I said one would expect the state to mark its 50th anniversary with conferences and discussions on its economic blueprint? Well, let's find out what else was in store after the break. back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Lagos State's 50th anniversary edition on Destination Lagos. Towards a smart city, preparing for the next 50 years of prosperity. That was the theme of the international conference organized to round up celebrations. With a gathering of diverse groups of academics, private sector operators, and government, the stage was set for a high-level discussion on the state's future.
The conference is part of Lagos at 50 celebration. We dub it International Conference with a theme towards a smart city. The theme is because Lagos is already a mega city, that is by virtue of its number. But we also think that we should be thinking about making Lagos a smart city. Why mega city simply means you've crossed the threshold of a certain number. Being a smart city means you do things in a smart way, using technologies, innovations, and so on and so forth. That is the whole essence of the conference, to see how we can use technology, innovation to drive Lagos for the next 50 years. That is why we say towards the next 50 years of prosperity in Lagos State.
The conference aims to achieve a policy focus that will drive the state's economy in the next 50 years.
We seek to elaborate on how 4 focus areas, transports, ICT, law, and the creative industries can leverage on technology to move Lagos into the league of smart cities.
As participants geared to focus discussions around making Lagos State a smart city and Africa's #1 investment destination, the host of the conference and governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, put things in better perspective.
We have had a year-long celebration of the establishment of our dear state, Lagos, with the core theme, our success story. The activities are being rounded up this week with a deep reflection on what the next 50 years should be. This is the whole essence of this gathering. There is no better group of people in this state than this distinguished audience that can chart the path for us. So I want to thank you for honoring our invitations and urge you also to be very frank in your deliberations.
And frank statements he got as the sessions kicked off.
What does a smart 21st century city mean? Smart does not mean elite. Smart means a city that works for everybody in it. A city that works means that ordinary people can become productive and so earn a decent living. And it means that where people live is a livable, decent environment. And so the city is productive and it's livable, not just for a narrow elite, but for everybody.
3 things are necessary. To begin with, density. There's a nexus between density and connectivity. And that, therefore, means transport becomes very necessary and power becomes also an imperative. And so what next steps? It's to ensure, at the very least, legal and secure ownership of land, because that provides a stimulus to investment. Secondly, that there has to be some flexibility in land use, because as cities evolve, the use to which land is put must also evolve.
I'd like to just take you through a model, which is the western part of Lagos, that's Badagry. The eastern part, that's Epe. Can you travel between those two ends seamlessly as it is now? Very difficult.
I think we need to begin to work on that connectivity, because if we want to decongest the road, we should be able to give people options of going either through buses or rail or ferry. So we need to begin to work on integrated intermodal systems such that people can be able to get to wherever they want to go in in due time. You can plan your journey, and that's what we need to begin to do.
The future is when well-off people like me don't go to work in a car, we go to work on a bus. Right? That's going to be the future of Lagos.
Let me and you do a deal. Let's float Lekki Air. Because if we take charge and pioneer a Lekki Air, what does it take to build an airline? If we have a Lekki Air, it will be a wasted effort if we don't have an airline. And while the federal government is still busy putting its act together, Lagos had actually pioneered it. And in that axis, if you have the airport, we have the seaport, and we have traversing the east and west of Lagos, because you see, the major thing we need to achieve with all this talk we've had today is decongesting the center.
When Lagos talks of building a smart city, a city driven by technology comes to mind. What really is a smart city?
Two key attributes, really. One is it must be designed, focused on the users. And it must be done in such a way that it's citizen-centered, as opposed to it being administrator-centered. The second thing, it also must be some form of public-private citizen collaboration. So it's something you do with, not something you do for.
I like it when you say the long run, long term. We are here for the long term. The smart city is a city that is in perpetuity. It's not something that it's just for a few years. Governor Ambody, 8 years, he's going to go. So what about all the things that he has put in place? Somebody has to build on it, right? So it's about sustainability. It's about making sure that we continuously build on what we have put in place, making sure that the environment is friendly, and making sure that everybody, both the high and the low, have a place in the city.
At the heart of discussions is the need to provide requisite infrastructure needed in a smart city, and not just the hard infrastructure.
You need to deal with the basic things, housing for all, and again, address the long-term sustainable issues. So at the end of the day, you're looking at difficulties as it relates to infrastructural gap, need to deal with security, need to deal with health, need to deal with education. In all of these, people say smart cities and rest. Technology alone cannot deal with that. So under three basic platforms, you need smart governance, smart businesses, and smart citizens.
In doing those next steps, remember your big asset is the confidence that citizens have in the leadership, and that, to be sustained, means the leadership must work for everybody in the city. That's the pact that has occurred over the last 19 years. It's the pact that will build the future. It gives the leadership of the city the freedom to think long-term. You cannot build a functioning city with a political horizon of 2 years. I deal with a lot of African governments, a lot of democratic African governments, but typically they're so uncertain of their power that they tell me, only give us suggestions which will deliver in 2 years, because that's the time, on average, to the next election. We can't afford to do anything that looks beyond that. Here in Lagos, I'm confident that suggestions which will work over a 10-year horizon will find an audience.
Most of the ideas mentioned by speakers are already in motion in Lagos State as it intensifies efforts to build a skilled workforce that will thrive in its future economy. In spite of achievements recorded, the CEO of Celtron, Dapo Adelagan, says all will amount to nothing if Lagos only aims to compete with states within Nigeria.
I sincerely believe that the competition for Lagos State is not within the Nigerian space. It's Dubai, it's Singapore, it's Hong Kong. And if we're going to benchmark those cities, it means we have to be very radical. and you've given us the liberty to speak the truth. I think Lagos is punching way below its capacity and its level. This is probably the fourth or fifth largest economy in Africa. In the 60s, California was dimensioned as the sixth largest economy in the world, even as a state in America. And it projected itself the same way, invested a lot of money on globalizing its economy. The result is the Silicon Valley, it's Hollywood, and it's the Wine Valley. As a matter of fact, it's moved from sixth economy in the world to the fifth largest economy in the world, and it's still a state in America. So I'm coming from the point of view that we need to step forward by taking Lagos not out of Nigeria, but dimension it as an entity in itself, an economy that is as big, if not as, bigger than Kenya, for example, should then ensure that it is branded as such.
A lot has been said and done in and about Lagos State, but all will amount to nothing if the Lagos of the future cannot be celebrated. I will leave you with these spoken words from Tilokwe Shonuga, which captures the expectations for the Lagos of the future.
So today, we call the people from their hiding places, wake them wherever they have been sleeping, tell them we have work to do. Call the artists and the creators, call the scientists and the engineers, call the builders and the architects, call even the magicians. Tell them this city is ours, our blood and birthright. No dream is too wild here. Years from now, when the world asks, we'll be long gone, and our children will be here to eat the fruits of these seeds that we have planted today. Our children will tell the world how we did exactly what they said could not be done, and we did it well.
And that's it on Lagos State's 50th anniversary edition on Destination Lagos. I'm Onyi Sunday. Thank you for watching.